Good evening and welcome to our live crafting session. It is Tuesday the 27th of June 2023. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name's Jenny McCormack and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the market town of Brackley, which is in Northamptonshire here in the UK. If you're joining live, do say hi. It's lovely to know who's joining us. And if you're watching on catch up, replay, whether that's on Facebook or YouTube, you might be casting it to a television, in which case I appreciate you can't comment when we're live. But if you have any queries or questions and you're on either platform, then just leave a comment in the comment section, and if it requires an answer I will get back to you. I do monitor them on a regular basis. Occasionally a comment slips through the net, so if that is the case, don't ever hesitate to make separate contact with me. So our stamp set of the week, and the one that we've been using at Coffee and Card, is this one here. It's called, as you can see, Just My Type. It's in the annual catalogue and it's a photopolymer stamp set, which means the stamps in the main are clear stamps. Obviously, as they get well used, they do get rather stained. You can just soak them in a little diluted washing up liquid that will remove some of the stain, but it doesn't affect the stamped image. And this particular stamp set doesn't have any dies with it, so it's just standalone. You can find it on page 69 of the catalogue, and it is £23. So this is the card that I made yesterday, and I used Pebble Path ink for the typewriter, and then I stamped the two little bowls, one on either side, in, it was either Poppy Parade or Real Red. I think it was Real Red. And then I stamped the foliage in Granny Apple Green, the sentiment and the little paperclip, which we've decided is actually upside down, in Real Red to match. And then I popped the same design of pot and foliage on the inside and also on the envelope. So it made a fun little card. Now we used it at Coffee and Card on Friday, again yesterday, and also this morning, and there were so many different ideas. It was wonderful. So I did a small Facebook reel this morning after Coffee and Card, and that showed you lots of different design ideas with this particular set. So if you get an opportunity, do scroll back and have a look. It was posted about lunchtime today, Tuesday. So in the stamp set, obviously we have the typewriter and the paper, and then some sentiments that will fit, but we also have a rainbow, a little flower, the word hello, which we're going to use today, some a line of little flowers, and then a heart, an envelope, and some other small sentiments. So what we're going to do is one of the alternative cards that I created for Coffee and Card, but I'm going to do it slightly differently. So again, I'm going to be using a note card and envelope because that's what we use at Coffee and Card. That looks like Kate. Hi Kate, welcome, nice to have you join us. Haven't seen you for a little while. And hi to you Carol, thanks for joining us. So I've got a note card and envelope, that's going to be the base of my card, and then I have a piece of Granny Apple Green that I've cut to 3 1/4 by 4 3/4, and then a piece of basic white which will be laid on top, and that measures 3 inches by 4 1/2, and then I'm going to use this circle for the flowers, but I'm also going to stamp the flowers across the bottom. So let's get started with the stamping. And I'm going to bring my mat in just for additional can't think of the word, it'll come to me in a minute. Support is not the word I want, but it will do. So let's grab the flowers from here, and my colours for this particular card are going to be Orchid, Oasis, Granny Apple Green and Melon Mambo. Those are going to be my three colours, which look good fun together, I have to say. So I've got my flowers across there, and I'm also going to use the hello, and I think that's probably going to be all I will need. So what I'm going to do is stamp the flowers going all the way across, and then I'm going to add a circle across the middle. So I do need a darker colour for stamping. So I'm going to use whichever one comes first. I've got Pebbled Path. This is my early espresso backup alternative. Okay, so I'm going to ink up these flowers, and I'm actually going to have them a little way up from the bottom. Of course I might change my mind, and I have to take my glasses off to see what I'm doing. Pop those on there, and then here, like so. So I've just got a line of little flowers. I'm then going to stamp them on my circle as well. And this circle is cut from the Stylish Shapes dies. That's the one that's got the circles as well as the squares and the banners. So I'm going to colour those in a second. And what I want to do is stamp my hello in multiple colours, and then I'm going to pop it across the top. Although I could actually, for this particular one, I might just stamp it once. Change of plan. So I'm going to stamp it in. Oh, decisions. I'm going to stamp it in Granny Apple Green because that's the colour of my backing card. So I'm just thinking, inking this up. So this is all one stamp. If you wanted to, you could certainly cut it up, but it's useful to keep it straight like that, because you can always punch it out to get individual letters, as you'll see in a minute. Okay, so there's my hello going across the top. There it is. Got a little bit of a flicker at the bottom, so I hope we're not going to lose anything, so I'll try and keep fairly well sped up. And then, so this one, so I was going to put this on top, but I've done that a little bit too low for starters, and also it gets in the way of my little hello. So change of plan, Jenny. So what I might, no, I'm going to stick with it. So I'm just going to colour these in with my three colours that I've chosen. So very quickly I'm going to do the leaves on here, and it's literally a very small image, so you could use Stampin' Up markers So I've just got these leaves, which I'm doing all the same green, but you could obviously vary this, use some different greens if you wanted to. That. So I hope everybody's had a nice day. It's certainly been cooler here, so it's been much more pleasant to work in, and certainly when you get in the car it's a lot more pleasant. When I walked out last night to take Cassie's dog out, I even had to put my coat on, albeit a summer coat. Okay, last few little bits. So that one. So it doesn't take very long. There we go. And then the colours of the flowers I'm going to do in Melon Mambo and Orchid Oasis. And I'm just going to alternate these, I think. So these are the Blends pens, our alcohol markers. And it's quite a small area, so I'm not doing a great deal of detail. I'm not doing any blending. It's a nice, simple, easy card. And because I'm alternating colours, hopefully I don't lose track. And I'm just going to use these two, and then I've got the green. That's that one. Like so. There we go. Okay, so I've got my hello there. So what I'm actually going to do is stamp that hello in my other two colours. So I've got Melon Mambo and Orchid Oasis. What I haven't got is a cleaning pad though. Let's take Orchid Oasis first. So sorry, I'm inking this up. I think it's off screen. So I'm going to put one down here, like so, and then the Melon Mambo at the bottom. And then I'm just going to punch out some different ones of those, and I'm hoping I'm still live. It's running slightly behind. No, we're okay. Whew. Okay, so this is Melon Mambo. I fear it probably needs a bit of inking, so it's a light colour, but it will do the job. There we go. So just going to cover those two up. And then I've got a 3/4 inch punch. Now this isn't current in the catalogue, but we do have the smallest circle die from the Stylish Shapes dies. Would fit that. So what I'm going to do is alternate the colours. So I'm going to do an E in blue, and there's enough space to be able to punch them out separately. So I've got an H, an E, and then I want a pink L, like so, and then a green, and then a blue letter O. And then what I'll do is I'll punch the rest of these out, and then I have a little pot that I keep them in. So these have got the letters H, E, L and O in different colours, so that if I need a particular one I don't have to stamp it out if I've got it already. So I can, and the reason for stamping that rather than just punching them all out was it gives me a guideline as to where these ones are to go. So I'm just going to pop the alternative ones up here with dimensionals, which I had ready. So I will grab some more. There we go. Oh, sorry, Cassie. So just going to pop these on the back. There we go. So a blue E, like so, and then my pink L. I could have done green, pink, green, blue, green, couldn't I really? But never mind. Yes, that's what I did. Still here. Oh, jolly good. Thank you, Carol. There we go. Now, not sure that doesn't look odd, actually, with it half lifted up. So, let's see what I've got. If I've got a green H, it's an O. I've got that L, of course it'd be everything but, so I think I am going to just stamp another one and punch out those letters, but I did want to use that as a guideline for keeping them relatively straight, but I have decided it needs a little bit more balance on it. So just an odd piece here. Clean this off as much as I can. And I'm going to stamp that in Granny Apple, and that will match the backing. Go like so. So there's my H and an L. So just pop those up. So a fun little card that looks completely different. You wouldn't believe really it was from the typewriter set, I don't think. And what I might do is add a little bit of ribbon across there. So this is going to go onto my backing, and obviously I could pick up Melon Mambo colour back actually. Nothing like changing your mind, is there? Let's see if I've got Melon Mambo to hand. No, that's berry burst. That's Melon Mambo. Subtly different. Let's see which one I prefer. What do you think? This is going to go onto a white card. So I think that's just a little bit brighter, isn't it? And let me see if I've got some ribbon that I could put round there to coordinate that together. And lift it up so you can see it. Hi cats, hope you're well. There we go. I know I've certainly got some Melon Mambo. This is an old one, but that looked quite pretty on there, won't it? So let's put that layer together. So going to use my seal, if I can get away with it on the top and the bottom, because I've got dimensionals in the way, so you don't want to push too hard because you don't want it to sort of dent your card. Go. And then I could put this across where the stalks finish and just have it like that. I think that looks better than separating the stalks. I just want to sort of almost cover them up. I nearly put them at the bottom. And let's find my scissors, which are hiding. So let's put a bit here and here. Let Cassie out. Okay. Right. Cute. Okay, so I'm just adding some more seal across there. In that corner. And that's going to go onto my note card. My bone folder. There we go. So there's our finished front of card, really bright and cheerful. Let's pop some flowers just a little bit further down on the inside. I could stamp them all the way across the inside actually, but let's just pop them there like that. So, and you could put any sentiment then with that, couldn't you? And you could use that for any occasion. Let's go mad and put some flowers across the back of the envelope like so, which I can colour in, and you could do the same across the front. Why not? There we go. So I'm not going to sit and colour these in. I will do that once we've finished. But there we go, there's our finished card. I could put a little bow with that. I'm not sure if it needs it. Let's have a quick look. Do a faux bow and see. Yes, well, it's quite flat, so it doesn't sort of make too much of it. And then a final touch would be to add a couple of gems, and I've got some very large pink ones here, but they are a little bit too big for that. Let's see what I've got here. Those are all the wrong colours. I might put a couple of plain gems, and we're done. I hope so, Cat. Nice and bright and cheerful. I know there's a few people that need a bit of cheering up at the minute, so let's just put some of the smaller, well, the middle-sized gems. I need to take my glasses off then. And I might just put them in the middle of those couple of flowers. 1, 2. And there, just put it in the middle there. So I've got an even number, an odd number even. I knew what I meant. Right, so there we go. That's our second design using that Just My Type stamp set. This was the one that I did yesterday, so if you missed that one you can watch that on Catch Up. And the one I did at Coffee and Card, I'm just trying to find so I can show you, because it's slightly different to this. It was this one. So I stamped the flowers going across and then the flowers in the circle as I started here. But because I'd repositioned it, it didn't work in the same way. So that's a variation on a similar theme. So I wonder which one you like best. I think I like this one. It's just bright and cheerful, isn't it? So thank you so much for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow, Wednesday. Goodness me, yes, the 28th of June. That will be in the morning at 10 AM. So if you are around and you're able to watch me live, I look forward to that. And if not, it'll be available on Catch Up and Replay. And do take a look at the reel that's got lots of different designs on. That came from Coffee and Card Friday, Monday and today. So if you want some ideas for this stamp set, look no further. Thank you so much, everybody. Do take care. I've kept to time just about. Have a great evening. I look forward to crafting with you again tomorrow. Cheers everyone. Bye bye.